Panchatattva ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuramilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So thank you very much, devotees, Prabhu, for having me here.
Haribo.
So happy to be in Dublin. It's my first time to Ireland. And yesterday on the streets of Dublin, High Street, it was really nice to be with the devotees.
Jai.
It was really wonderful to be with the devotees on the streets yesterday. And today also we'll get that opportunity to go out. So what I thought, in the next 1.5 hours, I will not be going through all the slides, but I'll cover some important points through the slides. And just a disclaimer at the beginning of the presentation, it's not my invention. Everything I'm sharing with you has already been invented by our previous acharyas. And in this particular case, my spiritual master, His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu. The only reason I'm presenting this is because we do not do anything else but to follow him. And that's how whatever little success we have is because we just follow what is being taught to us through the disciplic succession. So I thought rather than inventing my own wheel, I'll just present things as they are. That's why Srila Prabhupada did so well for the world by giving us Bhagavad-gita as it is. You know, the Bhagavad-gita as it is the most famous edition in the whole world. In the introduction to Bhagavad-gita, Prabhupada writes, I think on the 2nd or 3rd page, that the time when he did, there were already 300 other commentaries available on the Gita. Now, I think it's very difficult to keep account about the amount of, well, definitely ChatGPT or AI could tell us, But in fact, could you just look up on the ChatGPT and find out how many editions are there of the Bhagavad-gita? And when Prabhupada writes that the reason this Bhagavad-gita actually, he was convinced that it will be the edition which will help make many devotees is because the spirit of the Bhagavad-gita was intact within the Bhagavad-gita. Prabhupada did not construe or brought about his own personally motivated interpretations in them. He gave the word-to-word meaning and he gave the purport very much to the point of the verse actually. That's why Bhagavad-gita is so beautiful. To be honest, especially the Bhagavad-gita, the special edition you printed here from Sweden, I just fell in love with that yesterday. I have these orange Gitas at home, many, but now I feel that I found a Gita which I want to keep with me all the time. So I'm going to take that Bhagavad-gita. My god sister Yugala Gita, she distributed to me today. I'm going to give her the donation for that. So thank you so much for giving me that Bhagavad-gita yesterday. So let's look at some points. Thank you for coming, by the way, all of you today to here to ISKCON Dublin. And once again, I express my gratitude to Manu Prabhu, Yamuna Jeevan Prabhu, and all the devotees here who've been doing this wonderful service and have the desire to involve others in the most beneficial welfare activity for all, which is sharing the transcendental literature and chanting the holy names on the streets for the benefit of ourselves and also for others. So we'll cover some of these topics. What I would ask is, Prabhu, when you get a chance, if you could just bring maybe, how many of us are there? Maybe about 12 Gitas, 12 or 14 Bhagavad Gitas, if you can bring them. Yeah. You can open them, we'll distribute them all on the street as well, today after. But I need that for the role plays for the devotees here. Not now, in another 45 minutes or an hour. So that will be the last part. We'll do some role play of Bhagavad Gita. And I also have these cards here. Maybe some devotees can take a photocopy. I have some. And maybe just a few more photocopy will be required, and others can share one copy each, and or you can take a picture and put it onto the WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
That might be easier. It's a method which His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu says if you follow, he guarantees 100%. I don't. He says if you follow this presentation, which we will go through this, how to sell Bhagavad-gita, we can never go wrong. So we're going to try and follow that. And at the back is a tip on how to do door-to-door book distribution. So this evening, myself, Yamuna Jivan Prabhu, and whoever is available where he lives in that area, we are going to go door-to-door from 6 to 7 p.m. just to try it out. And I also suggested to Yamuna Jivan Prabhu, I think he has already told his good wife, that he should create 2 WhatsApp groups this morning, which he's already done. One for the Western outreach and one for people who are not familiar. One for those who are familiar or say from Indian background. And when we go door to door, he should invite people to be added onto that group, and he should start a Sangha once a week for half an hour, 40 minutes. No elaborate arrangements, just reading from Bhagavad-gita and having a discussion with these audiences and giving some fruit prasadam because he's got a young son. And so he agreed, Manu Prabhu, to do that. And then the idea is that you will all help him going there door to door and invite people to that program, and slowly people will get connected to Krishna Consciousness. That's how the door to door starts, so we're going to do that. So let's start. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Kasha Kadesh Karine Jai. Okay, so firstly we're going to talk about why book distribution. What is so special about this activity? So in a book called Our Family Business, there is a section called Sampradaya, and we're going to cover that. So the word Sampradaya means the complete gift, because it's coming in the disciplic succession, as you can see, from Krishna to Brahma to Narada to Shiva, and then all the way down to our prominent acharyas, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, for example, like that. Mataji, it's okay if Balram gets a little bit cranky, it's fine. I think you don't need to, somehow it'll be okay. Advaita Acharya, so this is the example of a personality 500 years, just over 500 years ago in Navadip. There's a beautiful place called Shantipur. Who's been to Shantipur? Anyone? Manu Prabhu. I was telling Manu Prabhu we need to take devotees here to Mayapur and Calcutta, so we'll arrange that separately. So the point is, in a place called Shantipur, Advaita Acharya, who's not different to Sadashiva and Lord Vishnu combined incarnation, he was praying to Krishna that he could see in the world people were suffering, they were envious of each other, and nobody was trying to think of God. And in that mood he was disturbed to see the world in that state, and he prayed for the Lord to descend on the earthly planet so the people of this age can be saved. And this is a great example and directly related to what you're doing here in Dublin. All Advaita Acharya did, he had Shaligram, some flowers, some Tulsi and Ganga. Just with that worship, he was reaching out and praying for the advent of the Lord. And with that simple process, Mahaprabhu immediately heard the prayers and he came to Mayapur, to Navadip, 500 years ago. And you can see here you have the simple, beautiful deities of Panchatattva, very simple worship program. And the idea is that Panchatattva, one, they are very merciful. When you do full-on deity worship, you have to be very careful in terms of not making any offenses. But when you are worshipping Panchatattva, one, they don't take any offense, but that does not mean we take them for granted. We still make bhoga for them, we still look after them, we still offer the arti in whatever times we can. But this is the best place to start, is the Panchatattva. So similarly, Advaita Acharya prayed for the descent of the Lord, and the Lord came. Mahaprabhu appeared on the request of Advaita Acharya. So the first principle is, if you want to do something, you have to just pray hard. So when you pray hard, then anything is possible. From a small project, it can become a very big project. All Srila Prabhupada did practically in his 6 years when he was in Vrindavan and Radha Damodar temple, or Seva Kunj as we call it, He just sat there and prayed and wrote literature. And it is the manifestation of those prayers later fructified in the form of him coming to the West and giving the world Krishna consciousness. You can see where the world is today. Only started from a room which is about this much size in Radha Damodar temple. So if you ever get a chance to go to Vrindavan, that place is called the spiritual hub of the world. There are two spiritual hubs. I'm sure you've heard of the one hub, which is Radha Damodar temple and Prabhupada's room. There, that place is called spiritual hub of the whole world. The second part of the spiritual hub is called Srivasanam in Mayapur, where it all started. So for us as Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we have two spiritual hubs. We should visit those places. So when Mahaprabhu appeared, he had two main reasons of his appearance. The first one was chant Hare Krishna. Everybody can say that. Say chant Hare Krishna.
Chant Hare Krishna.
And the second was to teach others. So what was the first one?
Chant Hare Krishna.
What was the second one?
Teach others. Chant Hare Krishna, teach others. Chant Hare, teach others.
That's it. So that's all Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give. He came to give us, he inaugurated the congregation chanting of the holy name, and he said, go and teach it to others. And then, as Mahaprabhu appeared, the marketplace of the holy name opened up. Yesterday, we were downtown here in the Dublin. You can see the marketplace was open. Prabhu's devotees were chanting so nicely. Mataji was singing the Kirtan. And it's amazing. What my request to you today, even if you come out for half an hour, even if you don't want to do the books, it's okay. But what you should do, you should sit down, or not sit down, stand when people are chanting and sing with them, and carefully observe people's faces when they are passing by. You will see some people, they imperceptibly get attracted to the holy name. Yesterday I was seeing people and they were like, oh, this is so nice. I mean, they may not be speaking in that there, but they had different ways. But you could see people's expression when the holy name is being chanted. And that is the evidence and the proof that this holy name is not of this world. It has come directly from spiritual world onto this earthly planet. Golokera Prema Dhana Harinam Sankirtan. It's just come here. So just watch this. By just watching that, your legs, you will no longer be standing on the earth, you will be in the air. Because when you see people taking interest and getting attracted in the holy name, you get a faith that the holy name is so important and we should chant the holy name seriously. So when Mahaprabhu came, he had an amazing vision statement, which is every town and village. He wanted the holy name to be chanted in every town and village. And my Guru Maharaj says, every town and village means Prabhupada books printed in every language possibly. That's the way we're going to spread the movement in every town and village. And what happened? After a while, our movement became hidden. After Mahaprabhu left, there was a period of nearly 200 some years where things weren't happening. Other samatha vichars and other paramparas were coming up and they were concocting their ways of how to achieve God or you can become God, and all sorts of things were happening. But soon after that, Bhakti Vinod Thakur appeared and he again reopened the marketplace in 1891. Because Bhakti Vinod Thakur, it is said he had 10 children. He was the Supreme Court judge of a very important magistrate in India. And he had many responsibilities to carry out during that time. So much so that it is said, Hare Krishna. Now these days, if you go to India, average Supreme Court to make a decision, it takes them few months to come to one decision. So in a day, at the most, they give out 2 or 3 decisions. Bhakti Vinod Thakur, in 2 hours, used to give out at least 30 to 40 judgments within 2 hours. Like that. So at the time, people were not waiting. So he was such a qualified person, but when he got so much engaged in the practice of devotional service, he wanted to relinquish that duty and say, I don't have time for this. But the British government was so impressed with him, they said, no, you can reduce your hours from 7 hours to 2 hours. And then he said, no, it takes me long to get to the place of work, I live very far. They said, don't worry, we'll build a railway track to your house. So where he was staying in Surabhi, the British government laid a track all the way to his house. So a small train used to go, pick Bhakti Vinod Thakur, bring him to the court. he will work for 2 hours, the train will go back and drop him. So you can imagine the caliber of the personality like Bhakti Vinod Thakur. And he's written over 108 books. He's written one of the most famous and transcendently hit bhajans. What the Bollywood or the Hollywood singers give us today, what we sing, none of them are any match to what Bhakti Vinod Thakur. That's why His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu says that no one beats the Thakur. He's the best, Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So he at the Surabhi Kunj opened the marketplace of the holy name, and he started writing books and writing the bhajans. And from there, he also made a prayer that may a ray of Vishnu be born, and that person can help me. Whatever I have written, assimilated through the Mahaprabhu's teaching, that can be preached all over the world. With that prayer and hope, he also took association of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, who was very close to Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and then Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur came. And with his appearance, it is said he was a very small kid. His name was Bimla Prasad Sharma. At the time, Bhakti Vinod Thakur was posted in Jagannath Puri. Day before yesterday was Rath Yatra in Jagannath Puri, right? 16th of July. And it is of the day of the Rath Yatra, the Jagannath cart left the mandir from the Jagannath Mandir, and it stopped in front of Bimla Devi's temple. So now it has become a ritual that the cart does stops every time that cart procession takes place. But at the time, it stopped for a reason, and it was just not moving. And then what happened? Bhakti Vinod Thakur's wife came out with Bimla Prasad, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur in his lap, and she brought him to the cart. And then as they were paying obeisances, the garland fell from Jagannath straight onto Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. That day Bhakti Vinod Thakur got the sign that this is an empowered personality, my prayers have been answered. Another significance, when you pray hard, anything is possible. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave many instructions to his spiritual disciples, but one of the most prominent instruction he gave to our Srila Prabhupada was that if you ever get money, print books. In Calcutta, there is a very beautiful temple called Bagh Bazaar. Anybody been here, Bagh Bazaar temple? No, Prabhu's been there, great. So in the Bagh Bazaar temple, there is a beautiful deity called Shri Shri Gandharvika Giridhari. So if you notice, even today when you go to the old part of the temple, it has two parts. New part is a 4-story museum, and the old part has 2 altars. One altar is now empty. I think it's got a picture there. So for the first time when Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur started worshipping those deities, Gandharvika Giridhari, he ordered a printing press from Cleveland, Ohio. And when the printing press came, the mandir was very small. And devotees were thinking, where are we going to put the printing press? So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, we'll build another altar. So next to the deities went the printing press. It is when we went to the temple for the first time, we were told when the pujari would do the arti of the deity, he will then finish the deity's arti and come to the printing press and do the arti of the printing press. Because Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur considered printing press as not different to the expansion of the Sankirtan movement, because he called it Brihat Midanga. When you play a Midanga, some people can hear 100, 200, 400 yards, but not more than that. When Prabhupada books or these transcendental books are distributed, it can go wide and far. That's why it's called Brihat Midanga. So Prabhupada took this from his mouth, and he said that my spiritual master was very fond of books. So I want to make a very important point here. Over the years, many things have come into our society. People give importance to many aspects. But it's a fact that one of the main things which Prabhupada was, of course, Prabhupada was pleased with every service. But this service of printing books and distributing was most dear to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And that's why it became very dear to Prabhupada, those who did it at that time. So it is said, Prabhupada took this instruction so strongly from his spiritual master that he made it life and soul for himself. And it is mentioned, I think it's in the third canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, in one of the purports, Prabhupada writes that the instruction of the spiritual master is the manifestation of the internal potency of the Lord. A very powerful point Prabhupada makes in the purport. And then he says, it is by that instruction one comes to see the Lord face to face. So when we are given an instruction by our Acharya, when we follow that, we should know that it is directly the manifestation of the internal potency. Who's the internal potency of Krishna? Srimati Radharani. So this service is actually directly instructed through the Acharyas as that extended potency of Srimati Radharani. So much so that I want to share one more point about this, because we should have enough why in our life before we do or find out how to do. Once you are convinced that why we are doing what we are doing, nothing is impossible after that. So I want to share one more story. There is Prabhupada disciple Rameshwar Prabhu in Los Angeles. One time he gave a class, and during the class he spoke. Prabhupada wasn't there. I mean, he was on the planet at the time. And in the class he compared the book distribution to inspire the devotees of the sevas of manjaris and the gopis in the spiritual world. And there was a camp of devotees. When they heard that, they got very disturbed and they wrote to Prabhupada. They said, how can you compare just the book distribution with such a high service of manjaris and the gopis? And then Prabhupada wrote back, he said, he's correct. There's nothing wrong in that. He said he's absolutely right in the tattva. Why? Because in the spiritual world, the manjaris and the gopis, what are they doing? The spiritual, you see, in the material world, everything is after me. Say, can you all say after me?
After me.
In spiritual world, there is a saying called after you. Say,
After you.
after you. So the whole idea is, we are putting people ahead. Even in England, Ireland, people are still very gentle. You know, when you go, they open the door, say after you. So it's the same principle. So in spiritual world, everybody is busy in putting others in front of Krishna. Nobody, because they have come to realize the platform that I do not have to do the service only when my spiritual master is present or when somebody is seeing me. You can still do the selfless service even when somebody is not watching. In fact, doing the right thing when nobody is watching you is actually very pleasing to the Lord. Why? Throughout our car journey today with Tanush Prabhu and Yamuna Jeevan Prabhu and his wife Shraddha Mataji and Balaram, we were reading from the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, King Puranjana's story. And in throughout that story, there is a very strong sense is being spoken about following the instructions of the spiritual master. And how spiritual master is not just a person, but he's also the manifestation in the form of Paramatma or Super Soul in our heart. So when we do an activity which is pleasing to the Lord, although physically our seniors, temple president, spiritual master may not be there, but once we come to the platform, I'm doing this service for service, I'm not looking for some kind of attention or recognition, then you go down in the name of Krishna's, diary. So I'll come back to this story, and now I'm going to go into another story. So one time in Ramayana it is explained that, so I do not know the exact details of it, but there was something going on, and some devotees went to Ram and said that such and such devotee, is doing a wonderful seva. So then they were asked, this I heard from Shubha Vilas Prabhu, one devotee. So Ram took out a diary, and in that diary he had many names of the devotees. So Hanuman went and told him, and then Ram found the name of that devotee, that this person is doing a wonderful service, and and he's thinking of me, which is very nice. So then Hanuman went away and started to think, everyone's name is there in the diary. He managed to somehow catch hold of the diary, but he could not find his name. So Hanuman became very disturbed. He thought, I was one of the most obedient servant of the Lord, and the Lord must be thinking of me, and now my name is not even in the diary. So then he went to Lord Ram and asked that, my Lord, I just didn't see the name in the diary. I managed to see your diary quietly, secretly. So Ram said, I have 2 diaries. you've only seen one. That diary you have seen is the devotees who think of me. And the other diary I have is the devotees who I think of all the time. So the point I'm trying to make is that pleasing the Lord can be done in many ways actually. Coming here, doing some service at the temple is also pleasing to the Lord. So similarly, by going out and doing this service, even if no one is watching, is very, very pleasing to our Guru Parampara. So it's very, very important to remember that the Super Soul is also there, Paramatma situated in our heart, all the time watching out for us and making notes. Prabhupada says, he quotes Shveteshwara Upanishad, and he says that Super Soul is always a witness in writing the account of things we are doing. So sometimes we are compelled to do sinful reaction that are also being noted. But it's amazing in spirituality, the spiritual mathematics is very, very different to the mathematics we have known here. When we do a spiritual activity, one activity completely nullifies whatever we have done in the past. That's the beauty of devotion service. That's why in Nectar of Devotion it is explained that when you perform bhakti or devotional service, all your past sinful reactions are completely eradicated. Everything is burned into the ashes in the fire of devotional service. That's how powerful devotional service is. So then, what happened? The marketplace spread all over the world, and this is Srila Prabhupada, as you can see, in the 60 volume of the elaborate English version of Srimad Bhagavatam. So he had written the 60 volumes, elaborate English version, and Srila Prabhupada had, firm belief in the plan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu wanted everyone to be immersed in the inundation of love of God. That's what Mahaprabhu wanted to give. Even those who didn't want it, Mahaprabhu was ready to give actually. And now you see what was Prabhupada's plan. His plan was that by printing books, we can actually inject our movement into the masses of people all over the world. So there is a direct correlation between Mahaprabhu's plan. How do you inundate? Through the distribution of literature and the holy name. People can get to know about Krishna consciousness and they become fortunate. And Prabhupada said, I like this idea of distributing books and preaching. That is Lord Chaitanya's plan. You see? So Mahaprabhu's plan and Prabhupada's plan is not different. So we are also called the Sampradaya of the book. Did you know that we are called the Sampradaya of the book? Now let's see why. And I'll prove it based on this evidence I received. So here, you see, who's this? And what is Lord Brahma holding in his hand? A book. What is he holding? A book. You can say loudly. What is he holding? A book. Okay. And who's this? What is he writing?
Vedas book.
Okay. He's writing the book. Okay. This is Madhavacharya. And what is he holding in the hand? A book. And Rupa Goswami is kneeling against what?
A book.
A book. And this is Sanatana Goswami. What is he writing?
A book.
And who are these?
6 Goswamis.
6 Goswamis. And many of them, what are they holding? A book. And who's this?
The Bhakti-vinod Thakur.
And what is he posing with? Books. Who is this?
Bhakti-vinod.
What is he posing with?
Books.
Who's this?
Srila Prabhupada.
And what's next to him?
Books.
So that's why we are Sampradaya of the books. In COVID 2019, was it 20 that COVID hit? 20 really hit February, March at that time, I remember. Until then, seeing senior devotees like Radhanath Maharaj, Jayapataka Maharaj or other senior Vaishnavas was not so very common during Zoom. But when COVID happened, all Bhadra classes, everything started to happen online. And it was so interesting that many of these personalities, when they came on the Zoom, their background was with books. Just try to think, if you go back into the times when you attended the Zoom calls, you will start to think, each of them not deliberately chose, but that's what we do. Our Sampradaya is of the books. So last year, I was very fortunate. I was at Govardhan Eco Village. We go every year. We take a group of devotees. So I took some small group of Western devotees, and His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj was there. He was very, very merciful. He invited us to his ashram, to the room he stays. So we went to see him there, and I went in, The front side of his room had beautiful library with all Bhagavatams, all books everywhere. That's all we could see, So nicely bedecked actually. So I was just really appreciating. Then I remembered Maharaj probably used to do the Zoom calls, from that area, the books in the background. So what I'm saying is, that's what our teachers, our spiritual masters, they're all the time absorbed in reading Srila Prabhupada books. So that's why we are Sampradaya of the books. And books have actually changed the world. You know this famous book, The Common Sense, Origin of Species. You've heard about these books? So these are famous books written by Charles Darwin, who just by writing a book, they can started to give different ideas into our societies. So in the beginning, we had handwritten books, printing presses like this. Now this is the printing press you will see when you go to the Bagh Bazaar temple in Calcutta. Next to the deities, this printing press, now they have moved it into the museum. In the Bagh Bazaar temple, there's a big museum they have built. On the second floor is this printing press. And is it live, Prabhu, or just recorded?
Live, Prabhu.
It's live. Okay, I'll be careful what I say. But anyway, I will say something. So we went with His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu, and this is one of his favorite floor because of the printing press. So I could see Maharaj was very emotional, very grave, on that floor, looking at the printing press. So much came out of it. And we had a very sweet devotee. His name was Chakadola Prabhu. These are the devotees. He's also my godbrother. And we all went and came out after the ashram. And he's always thinking how to please the spiritual master. There is CCTV and everything there, but he quickly, when everybody left, he stayed back and he went inside the machine. He took out one of the bolts it was coming out already, and he gave that as a gift to Maharaj, and it's worshipped on his altar now. So, these are the ways devotees think how to, please the spiritual master. So, this is that press from, Ohio, Cleveland, which is very much present. So, books are considered as containers. Why? Because they contain seeds. What kind of seeds? Idea seeds. So, when they go in the society, all the ideas come out and people get an idea of what to do in their life. And why, when we take these seeds to the people, why do you think people are maybe interested or not? Why? Give me some answer. Why do you think people will may be interested or maybe not? When we take the books to people, what do you think people's reaction will be on the street?
I don't need it.
Okay, I don't need it is one of them.
I already know about it.
Punya, pious activity, I already know about it. Some will take it.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? That means the living entity is open for suggestion. So that's why this principle yesterday Prabhuji was telling me is that we look for right fruits. When we go on book distribution, a lot of the time the anxiety is, how can I tell others about taking the books? I feel a bit shy. But when you realize you don't need to convince everybody, half of that burden comes down from your shoulders. You're only looking for those who are interested. And it might be just one person in 10. How many of you have heard of a famous personality, S.P. Keshav Swami Maharaj from Bhakti-Vedanta Manor? Many of you. Sutapa Prabhu was known before. So, he has said many times that some of his best realizations have come from street. Because he's a through and through book distributor, So, one time Maharaj was sharing his experience and he gave a very nice, he said every devotee should learn to take a no with a style. And he explained what that means. Take a no with a style. So when you see him on book distribution, when you go out and when you have so many conceptions, what if he shouts at me, or if he says something, I'll feel bad. But with Keshav Maharaj, when you do book distribution, he goes from one person to the other with the same smile, with the same enthusiasm. It in fact increases every time he gets a no. Because he says every no is one closer to yes. So you double up, and that's why book distribution is the best activity for pleasing Guru and Parampara, absolutely, but it's the best thing for your personality development. So many people actually are looking, like in Bhakti-Vedanta Manor where we are, we go out with kids, 30 to 40 children with a family. We go out and we knock door to door, give books. These children present the books. Now, these same children, parents are spending hundreds and thousands of euros to put them through some personality development, give them something so they can learn how to speak, art of public speaking and stand and speak in front of everyone. And I can guarantee you, if you bring these 40 children to speak, they will very boldly speak. You know why? Because they've been going out and seeing the world and seeing the suffering of the people, and they're able to relate to the world in a much better way than anybody else. So if you have a children or planning to have one in the future, just pray to Mahaprabhu that let my child come for one purpose, to save the world by going door to door or giving out Prabhupada books. Because by doing so, that child not only will go back to spiritual world, along with him, he or she is going to take many with him. And it's the best activity outside many other services we do at the temple. When the whole family gets engaged in Sankirtan, of chanting the holy name and distributing transcendental literature, I have heard parents come up to me and say, Prabhu, for years we were lost, but now this is one service we as a family can do together. Because the parents are standing back and they're watching the children presenting the books. I remember my daughter was like, I think she was even 1 year old or 2 years. We used to put her in the pram and go for Sankirtan and book distribution. And many children in our community have grown up like that. His Grace Bhai Shashika Prabhu went out with 5 children nearly 25 years ago or 30 years ago, like that. And today they are either like big leaders in corporate organization and taking such big ISKCON projects now. Just because he took them out. And now they know, so they may be MBA smarts or whatever it may be, but they are definitely street smarts. You will not get that education. If not, people get more addicted to gadgets and screens. But there is more fun in ringing the bell and telling people about Krishna. So we do this very regularly. It's very, very beneficial. It is the blood of your community. The more you do it, the more devotees will feel very, very energized. So, it's not just for children, even for us. So the success is not a mystery, it's a recipe. And how you put together that recipe is now I'm going to cover. So before I cover anything, I'm going to take 2-3 minutes for any comments or reflections or any questions you may have. And then I'm going to talk about the 4 laws of book distribution. Does anybody has any comments or any questions or any reflection? Yes, Prabhu.
So you might have already mentioned it, but just the importance of sadhana.
Yes.
Before you go out.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhu. So yes, so that's going to be our first law of book distribution, that your sadhana should be very high. And we're going to talk about some of the ways in which we can keep our sadhana very high. So thank you for bringing that up. Yes, Prabhu, we'll cover that. Yes, Prabhu.
Just one about going out on your own or going out with other people. Is there any advice on that?
Yes. So both are beneficial, but best if you go out together. There's always more Shakti, more energy when 2 is better than 1, 3 is better than 1. And but if you don't have anybody else, don't hold back. Then you can go out on your own also. Srila Prabhupada, when he was living in Vrindavan, he used to go to Chippiwara temple in Chandni Chowk in Delhi. It's a very crowded place. And he would take a tanga from Vrindavan to go to Mathura from train, and then he'll walk for hours, and sometimes if he had money, he will take a rickshaw. And then he will sit there at the printing press, he will edit it, he will get it printed, and then once it's ready, he will take out the magazine and go door to door. One time, it was 45 degrees Celsius temperature in Delhi. It can become that hot. And Prabhupada was knocking on a door. One family came out, somewhat interested in the magazine, and that family said, we will give you 5 rupees. They were quite well to do. 5 rupees at that time was still a decent amount of Lakshmi. And Prabhupada was waiting, and no one was coming out of the door. And there was a time when Prabhupada was starting to feel dizzy because it was so hot. And one of the Prabhupada's godbrother was coming on a cycle there, and he noticed that Prabhupada was about to fall, so he came over to Prabhupada, gave him some water, and he said, Swamiji, why are you standing here for so long? He said, this gentleman here promised me that he will give me 5 rupees. So Prabhupada was on his own, and he showed by example, by going door to door, how much he wanted to give Krishna consciousness. One time he was in London, he did a program at near Oxford Street, and they were going in a taxi. Actually, they were going to a program. Brahmananda Swami, he was with Srila Prabhupada and one another devotee. And as they were passing Oxford Street, Prabhupada started crying. He had tears in his eyes. He was sobbing and crying. And then Ramananda Swami or Ramananda Prabhu asked him, Prabhupada, is everything okay? He didn't answer anything. He went to the program, did the program. And again on the way back, Ramananda Prabhu was really puzzled that why was Prabhupada crying? And then he took the courage, after coming back, he asked Prabhupada, why did you have tears in your eyes? He said, you cannot see these people on the London street. They're just trying to fulfill their desire. They're not interested in Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada was a murti of compassion. He was a epitome of that compassion. He was always feeling the sense that the world needs spiritual emancipation. They need Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, it's going to be very, very difficult. So going back to Manu Prabhu's point, both are beneficial. Going out in a group is always nice. But if you don't have anybody, start. Because someone has to start. Prabhupada had to take that first step. So if you take, others will surely join. It's like that. Okay, yes, Prabhu, you
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. So, Prabhuji, like as you said, that when we pray hard, then everything happens. So, like especially in book distribution, I felt that when things don't work, I pray and Krishna shows the way. But eventually, when mercy comes, then I'm like, okay, I get happy, I get settled in there. So, if I would have prayed, Krishna would have helped me, I could have done more. But that settlement, what can I do? So, that dependency goes away once something happens.
Yeah. So, main thing is, Prabhu, you see, best thing is when you go out, the goals are important. We should have goals, some books, this, that. But when you go out, mood is more important than the goals.
Yeah.
So when you just try and pray to Krishna that Krishna make me an instrument. Prabhupada wrote in his Jaladuta diary, that make me dance as you like, my Lord. So similarly, that prayer is very powerful. We should always think of that prayer that, my Lord, I'm your instrument. Today make me dance on the Dublin street as you like. And if you feel that somehow this speech which is being given by you can be used in glorifying your holy name, your transcendental pastimes, let it be so, and let me become an instrument and serve you. So when you go in that mood, it really helps with the book distribution, Prabhu. And the third thing is, it's always good to try to relate to the people before handing them a book. In the sense that, like I spoke about this yesterday, everybody is looking for some kind of physical touch. I'm not necessarily suggesting the men go after the ladies, giving the fist bump, but men can go after men and say, hey, how are you? I'm from London, where are you from? The ladies can do the same with the ladies. Because when you do that, it was so funny. Many people went like this and then they drew their hand back. Because they want to say hello like that, but they're like, I don't know what I'm going to get here. So, bring your hand out, shake hands with people and think, it's okay, Of course, there's that thing, karmic reaction, no, you're doing it for Mahaprabhu, there's no karmic reaction for you. Like somebody asked my spiritual master last time when he was here, Maharaj, when people are trying to shake hands with you, do you just shake hands? Maharaj says, I go all in, I even give hug to the people. And that's the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Of course, we can think of, we're going to take the karma. A devotee is ready to take the karma if he has to go to the hell. The gopis were ready to go to the hell, but they wanted to relieve the headache of Krishna. So it's the same mood. You go all in, shake hands with the people and speak to them. But you know where to draw the line again, and then you reach out to the people. So in that mood, Prabhu, we have to stay in a prayerful mood. This is a transcendental activity. It does not depend on our qualification, on our abilities. It purely depends on the mercy of our acharyas actually. And the more we go in the mood, the more we become even more advanced. That's why Chaitanya Charitamrita speaks that those people, those who knows there is a deity, they come and worship the deity, they are the beginners, Kanishta Adhikaris. But those who go out to preach others, they rise to the level of Madhyam Adhikari. So it's an activity which takes you from initial stage of spiritual life to a very advanced stage, Prabhu, by preaching Krishna consciousness. And finally, one last point. I heard this, very beautiful. I'll say it in Hindi and then I'll translate it in English. His Grace Mohan Rupa Prabhu, Temple President of East of Kailash Temple. How many of you know something like that? So, you see, he was one time giving the class and I so much like the point that he said, mostly people take books not because they know about the books. They don't. The main reason people take the books is because of the enthusiasm of the book distributor. And so he says, in Hindi he was saying that because when you eat, and sometimes Krishna Prasad, you can eat too much. Especially if you're in Dublin, Govindas, you can really like Prashadam. It was really nice yesterday, by the way. So when you eat too much, then you burp, right? It's too much now. So similarly, when you practice your devotional life in such a way that now the contents are overflowing, you cannot help but to give others actually. So we have to be of that state. If we are not distributing, we should be reading. If we are not chanting the holy name, we should be doing some service. Both things goes hand in hand. We were just discussing in the car for the grahasthas. I have learned this from my spiritual master. A lot of the times the grahasthas don't get time to sit down with a book in a corner and say, I'm going to read Prabhupada's book today. The way to read Prabhupada's books is to carry it with you all the time. You will go to a bank, inevitably there will be a queue and the person will say wait for 5 minutes. 5 minutes is enough to read a chapter 12 of Bhagavad-gita. You can just recite the 20 verses there. Like from Prabhu's home to here, we read 25 pages of Bhagavatam just in 35 minutes. And of course, in between we were discussing, Prabhu was trying to keep Balaram quiet and all sorts of things happen when you're a grahastha with a child, It's like that, same for me. But when you carry Prabhupada's books everywhere, then you will be able to read them. And then what will happen? Keshav Maharaj says, if you respect time, the time will expand for you. It will 100% expand for you. Then you will get a time when not only a space, then you can even go to Tel Kadam in Vrindavan and sit under the tree of Rupa Goswami and read Prabhupada books. Krishna will arrange that. Like His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu, every year for the last 26, 27 years, he's been going to Govardhan and he sits there 5 to 6 hours every day for 3 weeks at least, so sometimes 4 weeks. They read Bhagavatam or Chaitanya Charitamrita out loud. They've been doing this. It's an amazing experience. If you ever get a chance, go and join those readings. It's amazing. It's out of the world actually. I've attended, my child was very young at the time, so we used to go sit there for hours actually and attend the readings. Very, very beautiful. Anyway, I have a limited time. I'm going to go quickly through these laws of book distribution since Prabhu reminded, sadhana must be strong. So, how should be our sadhana? Our sadhana should be strict, serious and sincere. Strict means you have to be disciplined. You have to set aside a time that you want to chant your rounds, you want to read Prabhupada books, you want to hear. And online, if you go Google, you can write this down if you like, 30-day habit tracker. If you type this word, 30-day habit tracker, you Google that and it will bring a sheet which you can print. On the left hand side, you can write down all the things you want to do. You want to wake up at this time, you want to chant these many rounds by this, you want to read Prabhupada books these many pages, you want to go for gym, you want to do exercise, you want to do work. Put everything down on that. And then try to put that in the place which you're going to see the most, the wall which you will see the most in your house. Put that sheet there every day, and when you wake up or wherever you see the sheet, you start filling it up. How did I do today? So maintain that. Chanakya Pandit says it takes 30 days to make something a habit. If you keep doing this, after 30 days, it will become part of your life. So it's a good idea to track and become strict about our sadhana. Second is serious. Seriousness means showing up every day. Like, I'm committed, I'm going to come up, take darshan of the devotees, I'm going to read Bhagavatam in the association of the devotees, and I want to be there, so you become serious. And sincerity means that consistency. So when you consistently do something, you get the taste. Many people, when you meet on the street, they say, I don't have time. And I often tell people, you're absolutely right. But let me tell you what my teacher told me once. I just say like that. My teacher told me it's not so much about the time. Do you know that? They say, really? It's about the taste. Then I asked them, do you like watching football? They say, of course, yes. Do you like going to the pub, drinking the beer? I said, of course, yes. So because they have developed a taste for doing that activity by constantly associating, Bhagavad-gita says in the 3rd chapter of the Bhagavad-gita that when you constantly contemplate on the objects of the senses, you develop attachment towards those objects. So people have developed this sangha with these things, football, beer, cricket, whatever that may be for someone, or a Bollywood movie or whatever. And the only way to detach from that is to attach yourself to the spiritual life. And that can only become once we are sincere. So here you can see, you get a taste, and then you can give that to others. I was talking about the absorption leads to advancement, and then comes the distribution of the overflow. Then what you should do, you should think of your spiritual life a night before, not when you wake up. That's a bit late. Because I remember until I heard this from my Guru Maharaj, oftentimes I would spend 5-10 minutes trying to find out where my bead bag is. Because I'm a person who would keep things in one place and try to look for in another corner of the house. But when you keep, everything has a place and every place has a thing to be kept. So when you have a place, designate, tell your wife, tell your partner in your family that I have decided, I've got this hook from B&Q. Do you have B&Q in Dublin? Yeah. I've got these hooks, I put them behind the door, I'm going to hang my bead bag. Do you need one more hook? You ask your wife. She'll say, yes, I do. So you hang it there. So you know that tomorrow morning you'll save 10 minutes. It's a matter of principle. So you come to that place and you pick up the bead bag and you chant. Like have a little prayer before you read about the holy name or read something from Prabhupada books. Many devotees do these kind of things. So it starts a night before. Plan your day a night before. Maharaj does these beautiful japa circles. He does them online also on Pandas Park, and it really helps you make your japa great again. Stay with the basics. So read a chapter of Bhagavad-gita every day. It's called chapter a day of Bhagavad-gita. These small practice, you'll be surprised. Let me ask you, if you be so kind and honest in front of the deities, just put your hand up and say there are days when you don't get to read anything from Prabhupada's books. Be honest. Okay, most of us are in that position. So I would say if you do simple things like this, when I say read a chapter of Gita, I'm not asking to read the purport. You select, just say if this is a chapter 1 which has 42 verses or 41 verses, you divide the chapter in 2 parts and you just read 20 verses in Sanskrit. Sanskrit is difficult, just read the translation. You've read it, it'll take you 7-8 minutes to do that. Then you go back to the first verse and read the verse and the purport. That's all you do. It'll take you 10 to 12 minutes every day. How many hours do you get here in Dublin in a day? 24. Yeah. I get the same. I also get 24 hours. So the point is, 12 minutes out of 24, do you think we can do it? So how many of you in front of the Panchatattva at least take a pledge that I will read one chapter of Gita, not tomorrow, from today? Put your hand up. We'll read it together before we go out. We'll recite one chapter of Gita. So don't let a day go without reading one chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada wrote to many of his disciples, many occasions, that I want my students to read at least one chapter of Gita every day. So just the shlokas, and then when you go out, and even by mistake there is a fire in your house, you will have some sanctity. You will be able to hold yourself. But just in case if you have not read a chapter of the Gita, you go out and there is a fire in the house, your whole body will be on fire too. It's like that. Because Gita keeps us sane in the world. Otherwise it's very difficult. Manu Prabhu, do you think it's a good idea to read a chapter of Gita? Okay. Great. Well, yes, Prabhu.
Yes, I was in a car with Vaisheshika Prabhu, and he was proposing the Chad. And I immediately said, I'm in the middle of chapter 2. It takes me a little bit longer. He goes, don't worry about purports, don't worry about Sanskrit, just use translations, and if you're an emergency, chapter 12, chapter 15, or shorter chapters. And then he said, and if you have a little more time, do Sanskrit. Yeah, and then gradually it becomes part of your language. If you have a little bit more time, then you can do one purport or many purports as well. Also, I found that reading the entire chapter, even if you could say, even just the translations, gives you a real nice flow.
It does.
And then when you go back through, that will be fertilized with the purpose.
Absolutely. Krishna says in the Bhagavad-gita 18th chapter to Arjuna that those who read about the sacred conversation of you and me, they worship me by their intelligence. So when you read Gita, you're using your intelligence in the right way. Gita is like our manual. Gaur Gopal Prabhu shared this nice humorous thing. He was saying in a lecture someday that India mein, when you go to a court, people bring the Gita and they ask you to say, put the hand on the Gita and say, इस पे हाथ रख के कसम खाइए, put your hand on this and pledge that you will only speak truth and nothing else. आप सच के सिवा कुछ नहीं कहेंगे. You heard this? Then he said, पहले गीता खोलो तो तब तो जानोगे कि सच क्या है. People are being asked to pledge or take an oath on the Gita, but they don't even know what the truth is. So he's saying now the time has come, people have to open the Gita and understand what the truth is before they take a vow on the Gita, it's like that. So the other principle is small victories add up. I already spoke about filling up the gap. When you're standing in the queue of bank or other places where you may be queuing up, take out mobile phone, take out Vedapage, don't go to Instagram, don't go to other things. It'll swallow you like anything. We think, okay, only 2 minutes, and before you know it, 2 hours gone, and you are miserable after that. You look at your kids, you lose the patience, everything is ruined, unfortunately. It is difficult, that temptation is very, very difficult, but believe it or not, when you look at on chat, just look at Prabhu chat. So what was the answer for the first question?
The first question was countless, then I asked for the exact number, it said over 2,000.
Over 2,000 commentaries of Bhagavad-gita today. Now can you please ask ChatGPT the average time people spend scrolling on social media? Let's find out. It's all about us. Don't think it's about others. We're all culprits here, but let's find this. I can speak for myself. It'll be interesting.
2 hours, 13 minutes.
How much?
2 hours and 13 minutes.
You got a wrong ChatGPT. That's okay. But people spend hours endlessly, scrolling the fingers and some devotee told me that our fingers are not meant for doing this, they're only meant for bringing the japa beat down like that. That's what we should be focusing on. And Maharaj was saying last time when he was here that when we are chanting, of course the main beats we are chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. But we are more attached not about those beats, but the counting beats. Bringing it down. Anyway, so this is Prabhupada wrote in a letter to Pendra Prabhu. Please encourage the others to read this Bhagavad-gita at least one chapter every day. Bhagavad-gita as it should be read by all of my students at least one chapter every day. Readchat.com. And also you can download this app which I was speaking to Prabhu called BSH Page by Page. This is a free app on Android and iOS. And there you can select the number of pages you want to read of the book. Like I'm trying these days to read 41 pages. So if you do 41 pages of Bhagavatam, it will take you 50 minutes to 1 hour and you will be able to complete the Bhagavatam in 1 year. But if you did 14 pages, it will take you 3 years. Like that. If you did 9 pages, it will take you 5 years. So it's good to have a goal when you're reading Prabhupada books. You know why? Because it keeps you enthusiastic. And it brings the consistency and momentum in your life. When you go to bed, you will be thinking, wow, is Vishnu going to come down and really save Gajendra? I'm really anxious. I need to know what's happening. That's what happens to your mind. And that means being Krishna consciousness. It's not a case of being so goal-oriented. Our Goswamis, Raghunath Das Goswami, he even counted the number of obeisances he paid every day to the Vaishnavas. He wrote it down in his notebook that I paid 300 obeisances today. What to speak of chanting our rounds and counting them and reading the book. So it's a completely bona fide process. In fact, this is called Vaidhi Bhakti. This same platform will bring us to the platform of Raat Magh one day. People think that, oh, you're too sentimental, you're all. No, this is what our acharyas did and this is what we want to do. We want to count the rounds, we want to count the number of pages, we want to count the books we are distributing. Why not? This is Vaidhi Bhakti. Of course, the day when we become spontaneous, then it's very, very different. Okay, let's get through this. Second law, what was the first law?
Sadhana must be very strong.
Let's say it together. Your sadhana must be very strong. Say it together. Your sadhana must be very strong. The second law of book distribution is you must get books. You know why? Because you can't distribute what you don't have. So here you have Yamuna Jivan Prabhu and other wonderful devotees who are helping him. They've got a nice book room. But I can tell you in 2 years from now that will be very short. In fact, in 1 year. So you have to start thinking a bigger place. Of course, we have a big project hopefully coming in the few years. But you do need a bigger space to look up, because all of you are going to distribute so many books, he's going to have a headache where to keep it. So please start thinking about how to get the books, and make sure you have them in other languages. Order them from Bangladesh. I already gave the details to Prabhuji. Don't have to order big quantity. Just have 50 of, like, especially I noticed in Dublin Street, you have people here from Romania a lot, Spanish people, people from France, and Arabic. These 4 languages are important. Have them available, because not only it just makes the message very relevant to the people, because many are not able to understand English. So when you have those foreign languages, it's helpful. And when you bring those books, Prabhu, go on to distributebooks.com and download language cards. There are language cards which translates the message. Books on yoga and meditation, give donation. So you don't even have to tell people, because they may not understand you. You simply hand them a book and show them that card. That's it. That's called silent book distribution. That anybody can do. You don't need to say a word. You can simply use when we go to the yatras with my Guru Maharaj, we all use mantra card. Even if you know Hindi, then also we don't speak. Because they are Brajvasis, they already know this. Many people who come to Braj, they have the Sukriti. So what we do, it's a very simple method. First, you kick off your shoes because you're in Dham. Second, they will also kick off the shoes seeing you. Then you give them lollipop prasadam or some prasadam you have here, this beautiful packets of prasadam. Then you give them a book. Then you give them shoes out. Then you give them the prasad. Then you give them Jagannath sticker if you're in Jagannath Puri. We carry all this in the yatra. And then you finally give them a book. And after that you show them the language card. Books on yoga and meditation, they show you how to get free from stress. Please give donation. That's what it says on the side. People read it, they give donation. And then you fold your hand and you say Hare Krishna and you go. Very simple method of book distribution. You can try here with the foreign languages. So all these language cards are available on distributebooks.com. You can't distribute books that you don't have except France, because France was able to do once last year when we were doing Bhadra campaign. They reached out to their patrons who didn't have Bhagavatam, and their Bhagavatam was in print. So they took advance payment. But don't try to become France, have books, that's important. Get books and organize yourself. Like I noticed, even though it's a small place, but it's organized nicely. All the books are there, and get them in various languages. Use the language cards. And finally, the third law is, the more you show, the more you sell. So please, when you have books available, show them. My request to all of you, those of you who comes here on Sunday, please put your Sunday speech program. If you currently don't have any service, you should speak to Prabhu here, Yamuna Jeevan Prabhu, and you should arrange a very simple, nice, small table. I'm going to send him some designs to print. And if you already don't do, outside your entrance, you should have a table, just outside. And there you should give out the flyers about the Sunday program to the people, and also have the books available. And then some people will come, and sometimes you will be surprised, people will walk up to the book table. If your presentation is nice, you start giving books on the Sunday from the temple and making aware of the people of the Sunday program. Many temples are doing this now across the world. Soho does particularly well with their Sunday table. Some pictures. This is Devamrit Maharaj on the more you show, the more you sell. See, the books are being displayed so nicely. Again, the book table. See, these are the devotees. This is Mahabhagavat Prabhu from Toronto. These are some libraries in Eunice, door to door, which we're going to try, by the beach, markets. And finally, the fourth one is, you must organize. So, in the 7 purposes of ISKCON, the 7th purpose, Prabhupada wrote, with a view towards achieving the aforementioned purposes, to publish and distribute periodical magazine, books, and other writings. So the idea is, we want to be able to distribute. We need to understand why we are doing this. In order to achieve the other 6 purposes, which Prabhupada has listed, like, creating farm communities, daily worship, spreading Krishna consciousness. This is how we're going to achieve all of those, building new projects, by keeping the 7th purpose in front of us, that all of it will come if we simply focus on this activity actually. And create an event calendar, so very important. We had a meeting today, me and Prabhu sat down, Mataji fed really nice breakfast, she made dosas today, which is nice. So then we had a meeting. I gave Prabhu the idea about organizing monthly Sankirtan festival, theming them around the festivals, reciting some prayers before you go out together, and then going out together. So hopefully Prabhu will start working on them and have goals, because the idea why we have goals is because it's what it takes us to achieve them, not so much the number, but we want to be. Prabhupada said every devotee should have a fresh challenge. We should rise to those challenges every time. So have goals and make sure you take inventory. Right now, one of the headaches Prabhu has is that there are not many devotees. So even if somebody comes forward and say, Prabhu, I'm a bit shy, cannot go out, can I keep inventory of the books on a Google sheet and keep you updated if it go down? That's a great service. Any one of you can take the service. Somebody lives far, cannot come to the temple regularly, you can simply say that, Prabhu, can I call some organization and ask them whether they are interested in having Prabhupada books? We have a team at the Manor who's all 3-4 months of the year, they're just calling the places and taking the pre-order of the books. Either placing them, which are sponsored, or sometimes people pay and we send them the books by order. Yes, Mataji.
Also, I would like to know a little bit smart boxes.
Yes, we'll talk about that today. So what I suggested to Javana Jivan Prabhu, that after we finish prasadam, either after or before the prasadam, few of us should stay back, have a quick meeting for half an hour, 40 minutes to talk about some of these things. And I told him initially the main thing is to focus on 1 or 2 things, not too many things. And once the devotees start to join, then it's fine. So we can discuss some of those details in the meeting today.
Because for me, I live far from here, so for me it's easy to.
Yes.
I start to find some places to do it, but I need more illumination about this.
Sure, Mataji. So we can discuss that. We can have a meeting after this session or after the lunch, whatever is easier for devotees. Have a follow-up strategy. Please try to always have a bookmark or a mantra card. Like at least you should have 2 things. One is a bookmark about the Sunday program you do. The other is have a business card like this, with the holy name behind and the address of the temple here. So at least people have the address and they can come to it. And I often leave them, before they go, I ask them to chant the Mahamantra once. And then when they leave, I ask them to keep chanting every day 108 times. It takes 10 minutes, I tell them. And so they carry the card with them, the holy name is with them all the time. Build a follow-up strategy, very important. Invite people in back to the temple, look after them, let them become the devotee, and they are the ones who will also join you in the book distribution one day. This is one of the most effective way of making book distributors. That's why Prabhu today, or very soon, is going to start a Sangha in his house, and he's going to invite people into that Sangha, and gradually they'll become so serious that they'll all become book distributors, right? That's the idea, Prabhu. So that's what Prabhu is going to do very soon. So we have in London Bhakti Community Studio 108. I also suggest you develop a brand here, a name for your follower. Manu Prabhu, to be good, that it can be something very simple, Bhakti Circle, Bhakti Community. In fact, you don't need to create your own thing. You can reach out to ISV. They have a very good system. You can just take their resources and do similar programs for the follow-ups. And they have some for Western outreach like that. So I'm happy to arrange that and we can discuss that separately. This is the Bhakti community at ISV, Bhakti Wisdom, Navina Niyat Prabhu. Build a team spirit and what gets measured gets done. That's why the goals are important. Make sure, one thing I said to Prabhu, when you do the monthly Sankirtan festival, which is going to restart, hopefully with a renewed enthusiasm, once the festival finish on the day, the next Sunday, make a written offering, I told him, and come to Prabhupada and Panchatattva and read that offering to the deities. And in that include who was the devotee who made prasadam that day for everybody. You know, who did the book packing, if you did the ribbon book packing, who drove the devotees and gave the lift. Every little detail should be in that letter, some quotes from Prabhupada. And read it in front of the Sunday Feast Festival, and after you finish reading, there will be somebody who will come up to you and say, how do I get my name in this letter which you just wrote to Prabhupada? And then that's all it is needed. They will feel very appreciated if you include them. So that's all you do, because it's a very personal thing. We want to offer Panchatattva as the best deities in the world you can have. and then Prabhupada is here, you offer those results to Prabhupada by going out and make it a festival. Everybody stands up after the talk before you go for a feast or have a feast, and you offer that results to Srila Prabhupada. So please do that, because these are powerful ways in how Prabhupada will reciprocate with us. Bhadra, this is very important. This is my last thing before we go on to the Bhagavad-gita role play. Right now, we are trying to, this is an old one, 2021, but this year we are trying to distribute 100,008 Bhagavatam set. So, Mataji, you told me to bring the poster.
Yeah.
I bought it. So we'll take a picture today. Before we go out, we go in front of the temple. We have a big banner, and in front of the banner we will take a poster. But before we take a picture, that's why we'll have a meeting to decide, unless you already have a goal for the Bhagavatam this year, but we want to make sure you have a goal to distribute certain number of sets of Bhagavatam this year and be part of that growing community. So there are kids Sankirtan, I already discussed. I'm not going to go into sell it in bunches, very important. If some of you just want to, like Mataji, you're at home, you're busy with Bhagavan, like he takes 2 or 3 half-an-hour naps, tell Yamuna Jivan Prabhu to get you piles of books at home, and every day get a ribbon. Prabhu will get you the ribbon, you just pack some books. So you will not feel left out because you're not able to go out with him. Your contribution will be equally good like others going out. So like there are others who wants to do that service, they can take some books. Prabhuji will note down the names of the books, you pack them for the monthly Sankirtan festival, you bring it back and we stack it here. So when you go out, at least give, because everybody is after variety. Nobody wants just one book. People want 3 books, 4 books like that, and they will give you donation like that. So at least 3 books together, a Bhagavad-gita and a small book like that, so pack them. Like you see, who's this devotee? Does anybody know? He's a very famous world record breaker book distributor. I'm forgetting his name now. Mahotsava Prabhu from US. So he has world record of distributing nearly 5,800 books in a day, just on himself. And of that, he's done like 40 sets of Bhagavatam on the street in a day to people, hand by hand, like that. So he's fully fired up and empowered. You have other programs, language books. So these are some success principles. Please make a note of those. Very important, not just in book distribution, but generally in your life. Assume it can be done. When you're looking to start something, don't think whether it will happen or it may not happen. Just assume that it will be done or it can be done. Second thing is encourage the heck out of everyone. When people come out on book distribution, make them feel special because they are special. Same as when you meet people on the street, make them feel special because they are special. You know why? Because they have Paramatma in their heart. Everybody is spiritual. That's why when I was talking to people yesterday, I was telling people that these are books on yoga and meditation. We'll come to that. Yoga and meditation. They help you get free from stress. And then I asked them, do you believe in stress? Or have you heard in stress? They said, of course I have. Then I said, what's your secret? Then that means you're asking them to tell something special about them. Then they say, I meditate, I drink, or whatever, Then you say, I wish there were more people like you in Dublin. Dublin will be a much better place to live. And they feel so happy. They're like, oh my God. Because these days, nobody's appreciating anyone. On that note, what we are going to do is a little exercise. So I want you to turn to the person next to you and tell them something good about them that you know, or even just looking at them, say something good about them. Just do it. Time starts now. Okay, stop. Now turn around and say to the other person. If you have said to once, let the other devotee tell you something good about them.
I really appreciate your puja service. Are you going to do tomorrow morning? At 6 o'clock? Because if we did it earlier, then we could stay for the whole day, And then leave straight away. But when you're going to do the whole service, you're going to be there for one lecture.
Okay. It's difficult to stop, right? When you're speaking good about others. So see, this is what it is. Most people these days, we live in a closed house with our loved ones, but when was the last time we actually go and say something nice to our loved ones? We don't. So it's very important. People need appreciation. The human beings are looking for appreciation. So in a day, take a moment to thank somebody, say thank you to someone, appreciate them for what they're doing in their service. And these are the things which our six Goswamis highly advocated. They said, what was that verse? How does it start? Nectar of instruction, the six exchanges. What's the first one? Pratigranati Goyam Akhyati Prachati Bhunte Bhojate Chaiva. That was. So, six exchanges. And this is part of that exchanges, revealing your heart, inviting others for prasadam, going to their houses for prasadam. So, that's how our bhakti prasiddhati, our devotional services increases more and more. So, encourage the heck out of everyone. Finally, have Khatvanga consciousness. Do what you can with the time you have. You may be surprised. We talked about this already. Don't waste time. Time will not waste you. If we waste time, time will definitely waste you. You know why? Because time comes in the form of Kala and it takes away. In the story of Puranjana we were reading, Kala has just come and he's now taking the Puranjana for the sufferings which he has to face actually. But we don't want to be in that position. We want the Vishnu Dutas to come and take us to the spiritual world, like how we hear in the Srimad Bhagavatam. We don't like the association of the Yamadutas. So we want to go to the spiritual world. So have that Khatvanga consciousness. The Khatvanga consciousness means we do not know when the death is going to come. We have to be ready. And finally have a missionary consciousness like Jaladuta consciousness. Do something bold for Lord Chaitanya. Mahaprabhu Prabhupada boarded the Jaladuta on his own and he came to the Western world to preach Krishna consciousness. And you can see what he did. Because of that bold step he took. So we should also have that Jaladuta consciousness. How we do is more important than what we do. We already spoke about this. Very, very important. And the management here, all the devotees who are helping with some services should have a mission-oriented management. You cannot manage if there is no preaching. Management is there to manage the preaching. So please first manage the preaching, then everything else. This is very important. Otherwise, things become bigger and we find it very, very difficult to do things. Accomplishments, emphasize teamwork over individual scores. Create teams when you go out. Don't have individual scoring. Make a team, Gaur team, Nitai team, Balram team, Krishna team. Even if it is just two devotees in one. Or even one person going out, I'm Gauranga Kripa team, whatever you want to name it. And that way, you're emphasizing the teamwork and not trying to compare people. Of course, it's healthy, Prabhupada also encouraged that, but where possible, teamwork. Increase capacity, slowly, birds fly in the sky as high as they are able to. But slowly you can increase your capacity. And the whole thing is, the more you give, the more you grow. It's a very basic principle. If you receive, then you go down. By giving, you go up. That's the main principle. And so I'm going to stop. I encourage idea sharing. Okay, this monthly Sankirtan festival, main thing is that it needs to be fun, organized, and everyone should be welcome. And when you go out, all you're doing is touching the pavement. Don't tell devotees, don't tell anybody, come with us, we're going to do books. No. We're just going to touch the pavement. Take the picture, after that everything is a bonus. That's all you tell the people. And that's all you do. You go out, you touch the pavement, then somebody will take a speaker and start chanting the holy name. Somebody will pick up the books and start looking at the books. I'll give you one story and we'll stop here, then we'll go to this. One time, there was a book distribution seminar I think Maharaj was giving in one of the temples in US. And one brahmachari said, I'll attend the seminar, but I will not come out for books. So Maharaj said, absolutely, welcome, please attend. So he sat down, he attended the whole seminar. Then after the seminar got over, he said, I'll come out, but I'll just sit in one place. I will not distribute the books. So Maharaj was very happy. He said, that's amazing, please come. So he came out, there was a book table, there were devotees singing the Harinam, and this brahmachari, he sat far in the side, and he had just a couple of books in his hand and he sat there. And what happens after some time, one lady came over and sat next to him, and she looked at him and she said, are you a monk? He said, yeah, what do you think? I am a monk. And then she said, what's that in your hands? And then he said, these are some books these guys are distributing. There are books about spiritual consciousness, mindfulness. She said, really? Can I have a look? So she took the book. She said, are you selling them? I don't know. You can give what you like. You know, he was a bit casual about it. So she gave him $20, you know, and after she left, he stood up, he jumped, and he ran to the table saying, I just distributed some books. And that's it. And since then he joined the book distribution party. So you see, this is what happens. He only took that one step to go out. He had no intention. In fact, he made it very clear, I do not want to distribute the books. But look what Krishna did with him. He sent a soul who had no idea who this person is and got the book distributed. And sometimes a day can go by and we may not do a book, which is fine. Because our main thing is to try and leave everybody with a good impression. Don't try to shove book at people, don't try to convince others, don't philosophize with the people. It's easy to keep it very fun, have a nice exchange, give them some prasadam, invite them to the temple, greet them nicely. You know why? Because today if you leave them with a good impression, tomorrow when they will meet another devotee in another country, which is quite possible, it has happened so many times in our movement, they are much likely to take the book next time. But if you upset them, then they are gone further away from Krishna. That's why this activity is not a thing we're not looking to convince everyone. We just want to present Krishna consciousness to others in a simple. Our prime directive is to leave everyone with a good impression. Preaching means treat people with, offer kind, practice, and don't condescend. Don't tell people that, oh, if they say, oh, I'm from Christianity or this and that. No, we respect that. We say, then you say, people like you are keeping the world afloat. If there were more spiritual people like you, this will be a much better place. Make sure you tell them. Like 2 days ago, I was doing, it's not 2 days ago, 4 days ago, I was on a door-to-door football match. England semi-final was about to take place. And we said we're going to go 1 hour before the, because everybody will be home getting ready for football match. So every door we knocked, there were people in the house, getting ready. Somebody had t-shirt on, somebody was finishing their dinner. So one person came out, he was from Holland. And I started to speaking. By the way, I'm not going to take books, I'm atheist. I said, perfect. I took the books from his hand, he was looking at them. I took it hand, then I gave him another book. I think it was Science of Self-Realization. I said, this is for atheists. He said, really? You have a book for atheists? He was really surprised. I said, yes, you will see a conversation between a Swami and an atheist in this. And there are many conversations of Prabhupada speaking to such scientists and philosophers. So I did not lie at all. On a principle, I was correct. So he took the book. And he gave £10 in the donation. He said, I'm really looking forward to read about this atheist book. Now imagine if he reads the Prabhupada books, what will happen to him? It will only take him little time to become a theist from atheist actually. So that's what you don't condescend people, oh, you're atheist, oh, I'm going to have to leave you quickly. No, we don't do that. So make people feel, express. Our motto is always better
Service.
We are Krishna's
Instrument.
Remain.
Humble and hungry.
We go out for.
Self-purification.
I save one soul at a time, starting with.
Myself.
Pick the.
Ripe fruits.
And now tell me if this is a ripe fruit or an unripe fruit.
Ripe fruit.
And this one?
Unripe.
This one?
Ripe.
This one?
Unripe.
This one?
Ripe.
It's the same picture, by the way. Okay, start small and grow. So here Yamuna Jivan Prabhu is looking to really start, and he's already started. He's got a desire to really please Srila Prabhupada, so please help him. And core and explore. Things which work 80% great, 20 things always look for exploring. Goals are potent. And here's a very important mantra. Where attention goes. So when you put your attention behind something, then your energy will go in that direction. Sorry, I just need to stand up for 30 seconds. I'd like it starting to get a bit. And then a lot of people each doing. There is something for
Everyone.
Keep the bar low to start with. So start small. And Sankirtan is
Fun and easy.
This is a very important part. Sankirtana is fun and easy, and Sankirtana is for all. Okay, so now what we are going to do is the last part, which is an interactive exercise. So Prabhu, is it possible, I only have few of these, you can take a picture. Those who are on the group can see, take the front and the back for both.
Yes, Prabhu.
And then you can share it with others who are going to have. And please, so now we are going to look at the practical side. Okay, great. So now we're going to practice how to distribute Bhagavad-gita on its own merit. So what I need is, can I have a copy of, well actually I have it here. We have the Bhagavad-gitas here already?
Yes,
We have? Okay. So I'm going to go through this presentation very quickly in the next 5-7 minutes. And then, is it okay if we go 10 minutes over?
Yeah.
10 o'clock, yeah. And then we are going to do a role play here, which will be very nice and interactive, and then we'll try it on the street afterwards. Okay, here it is. So how do you distribute Gita on its own merit? These are the 8 steps. So you can, the first one is called, what is it called?
Radar.
Radar. So you see this picture here. What is he doing here? He's trying to catch Yamuna Jivan Prabhu, who is driving very fast his car. So you can catch his speed. I'm joking. He was driving fast. So they used to use these cameras to catch. They still use it to catch your speed. Sometimes in US they use it. So what you do is, so you're looking at the radar at the people. So you're scanning people when you're on the street. You're looking at people's eyes. You're looking at their countenance, how they're looking, are they smiling? And then you use your hand, because the hand has a power. So do like this. Okay. Do right hand, use the right hand. Now what are you doing? No, you're giving blessings. I'm joking. You're seeking attention. So also, you're Vaishnavas, you're devotees, you're also blessing them by doing this. So you say hi. Everyone say hi.
Hi.
Hi. Now you look at each other and say hi. So immediately, that's the first thing you do. And then by doing, and if they say hi back to you, so now you, in your mind, when you're going out, you've just taken a scale. And that scale has a counting from 1 to 10. Not physical scale, but in your mind. So when you look at somebody, I'm looking at Prabhu, I'll say hi. So he's smiling. So on a scale of 1 to 10, what number would you give him?
10.
10. Wow, Prabhu, impressed. So you know that person is ready. Like somebody, yesterday I had to give him 11. You know why? He came up to me and shook my hand. And then we started to engage him with a conversation. So like that, we are qualifying people. So once you meet with them, you qualify. And you shake hands and you say hello, or you show them the hand. And you trust the hand when you're speaking to them. And then on the scale of 1 to 10, now Prabhu, what's your name?
Ajay.
Ajay. I'm going to say hi to you. Just show the most least disinterested body language that you're not interested. Hi.
No, thank you.
That's it. So what is he on the scale of 1 to 10?
0 minus 0.
Oh my God. Alright, so 0, 1 or 2, something like that. What would you do with such a person? You'll chase them to your home. No, you won't do that. So you just thank them and you then let them go. Say thank you so much, have a wonderful day, have a great day, and like that, And then what you do, if they're interested, you trust the hand. Give me a book. Can somebody give me a book from Bhagavad-gita? And I need one. Prabhu, can you come here? It will be nice to do it with you. So I'm also going to open the book. So now, what's your name, Prabhu? Aditya. Keep standing. I'm going to stand as well. So this is Aditya Prabhu. Who is he? Aditya. Okay. So now I'm going to say, I'm from London. Where are you from?
From Dublin.
From Dublin. I love Dublin. This is books on yoga and meditation from London to Dublin. So what did he do? He immediately tried to grab something. So the human people these days, their hands are only grabbing gadgets like iPad, phones. They don't grab people's hand. There's no physical intimacy in that sense of the people. So when you give something, people are always looking to grab. So he has already managed to grab Prabhupada's book. Half of your attempt is successful. Even if the book is not gone, you know why? Because Prabhupada said even if they touch the book, they qualify themselves to read the book next time. So already success. Even if they don't take the book, it's still a success for you. But at least if he's got the book, then you say, what did I say? Books on yoga and meditation, show you how to get free from stress. So you hand the book to them. And then you say, you ask the question, have you heard of stress?
Yeah.
Really? You don't look stressed. In fact, you look spiritual. What's your secret?
I just meditate every day.
Huh?
I just do like 2 minutes of meditation.
Wow. So what you say, you ask secret. So that means what I am doing by asking him, I am getting up from the Vyasasana and I am asking Prabhu to sit on the Vyasasana. You know why? Because I am asking him something to tell me which I don't know. So I am ready to take instruction or shiksha from this person. So that means in my mind, I am putting this person on Vyasasana. So now I am asking him, what is your secret? And then I'll take the book back from him and I'll say this. Very quickly, let me show you really quick. This book is being read by Mahatma Gandhi, Albert Einstein, all these people in Emerson, and the Beatles, all these names you can throw in quickly because some may resonate with some other name, and then you can quickly go into the first 2 pages and show them the famous university. That look, this has been endorsed by all these famous professors from Georgetown University, University of Chicago, it's all there. So here, now show and tell. Then after this, what you do, you ask them that can you read Sanskrit? Do you know the ancient tradition? You say yes, I've heard.
Yeah.
Then I say, can you read this? And then he'll be like, the person will be completely baffled. They say, okay, don't worry, I'm just joking. You take it away from them. And then you say, this has been translated in English over 400 times. And then finally, out of the translations, this is the most popular in the university. These are the different university you can tell them. And then you bring them to this page in the Gita, which is the changing body exhibits. Yeah. Then you say, we are just passing through in this life. Where do you think you are? You look at that picture is there? Yes. So then where do you think you are? So mostly people think themselves old. They'll say, I'm here. Then you say, no way, you are here. You look much younger, and then they become very happy. Because hardly anybody tells them you're younger here. Everybody looks old because they are so distressed, so much in anxiety. Everybody looks like 10 years older than what they are today. So you tell them, no, you're here. You're much younger. And then what you do, then you ask them, once you've done, then you tell them that here, a learned person sees everybody with an equal vision. You show them this picture. He sees there is God in everyone's heart. This is very important. People really resonate with this. Because most of the time people think we are religion. But this picture shows we are not religion. We are actually trying to promote the highest dharma. Every religion either distinguishes between caste or greed or the body or color. But here look, we are seeing everybody with an equal vision. People really like this picture. Then I ask them, what do you do for work? So you tell me, what do you do for work today?
I work in marketing.
Huh? No, or you can ask this question, have you heard of karma, right?
Yeah.
What does it mean to you?
It just means like if you do good, get good back.
Whoa, I really like the way you put things. If there were more people like you in the world, it would be a much better place. So you say that to the person, then all you're doing is appreciating the person. And you give them a compliment, like I said, whoa, what a great explanation. If more people like you in the world thought like you, the world would be a better place. Then I asked him, what do you do for work?
I work in marketing.
What kind of marketing?
Just online.
Online marketing. This guy used to be an online marketer. Then I said, just kidding. So you just show the yogi's picture, have that humor with him, and then you take the book and exchange the humor here. What do you do for profession? They ask, I'm a civil engineer, I'm a Sunday school teacher, I'm a dancer. Then you say, look at the picture, this guy used to be a school dancer. Like that you can say, and then they laugh. It's a nice exchange. That's the other thing. These days people have forgotten to laugh. If not anything else, they've become happy momentarily and gone away after speaking to you, So you exchange that humor and you say, really, this guy used to be a civil engineer, like that. This guy used to be a Sunday school teacher. This guy used to be a dancer. And then I take it back from him. We don't sell it like in a bookshop. We only ask for donation. This is a very important point, so please try to pay attention. And this really helps us why we are asking donation. Here. Hand the book back and say, we don't need the money. It's an ancient tradition. When you give something for sacred knowledge, it helps you connect with the teachers who have been passing this down through many generations. So this principle, people really resonate. It does two things. It takes away the pressure from you of asking the money as if you're asking for yourself. Second, you're really explaining them why you're asking for the money. When giving some, of course, easiest thing is you'll print more books and benefit the world. You can say that. But this has more weightage. When you tell people that it's an ancient tradition, when you give something for sacred knowledge, it helps you connect with the teachers who've been passing this down through many generations. Like that, here. You see this? The same thing I said. And then you can say, it cost us €5 to print this. Anything over that is a donation. So you've already set expectations with the book. Small books, let them give €1 or €2, whatever they want to give. But for bigger books, you can give them some idea that it took €5 to print this, or that the most beautiful edition I saw, €10, whatever. Anything over that is a donation. So then you're encouraging people to, a lot of the time we say just give a change. No. Start from high note, give what you can. Like I remember one devotee, I heard him, this has also become one of my favorite lines. People ask sometimes, what should I give? Then I say, most people give their life, you give what you can. Because all of you have given your life to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So you say, most people give their life to this, you give what you can. In your case, we are happy to take an exception. So then Prabhu will give me some Lakshmi, and then they will say, I don't have a cash, then say, we don't take cash. We only take Visa, Master, Solo, American Dynasty, whatever, So they know we are a bona fide charity, fully ready, we have the card machine, we can say charge it on the card, like that. And then, first thing, learn a few, now you can sit down, Prabhu. This is important, few comebacks. Yesterday somebody was asking me, what if they say this? Now you have some really nice ideas off your sleeve. Somebody will say, I already know all about this. What do you say to such a person?
That's great.
That's great. I can tell by looking at you. So what are you doing here? I mean, you're not condescending that person. You're not saying, oh, you know everything, thank you very much. No, why you finish that? You say, I could just see looking at you. You definitely know everything. And now very soon I'm going to come how to distribute books to Indians. Do you know how to distribute books to Indians?
Yes.
You don't distribute books to them. You don't give them, you don't hand them a book. I'll cover that section shortly. Here is the next one. They say, are you selling this? What do you say? We refuse to sell it. It's too valuable. We just take a donation. So you're taking out that whole commercial aspect and the money aspect from their mind. Another one. How much should I donate? We try to keep it under €100, but in your case, we are thinking to make an exception. So you keep it lighter, have some humor in it, no harm. And then finally you ask them, do you believe in the power of prayer? If they say yes, then you say, let me teach you a mantra which will help you awaken love of God in your heart. Then you give them this card, which Prabhu is going to print in the next week or two. You hand them the card, it has holy name. Then you say, are you ready? And then he's going to think, what's going to happen now? He'll say, yes, I'm ready. Then you say, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Like that, you repeat the whole Mahamantra with them. That means you've given them the opportunity to chant the holy name once. And according to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you made them fortunate before they go home. So you always, and if they say, no, I don't believe in the power of mantra, then you say, perfect, I'll teach you a prayer. Don't talk about the mantra. Say, I'll teach you a prayer which will help you awaken love for God in your heart. And you do the same thing again, still. So it's do if you don't, and damn if you don't. Still you do it. You still give them the holy name, like that. And so you do the Mahamantra, power of prayer, and then finally you give them some prasadam and you get their contact information. And then you thank them that it has been a pleasure meeting you. Why? Because our prime directive is to leave everybody with a good impression. Now comes last point about our Indians. So when you're speaking to an Indian person, don't give them a Bhagavad-gita. So don't give them any book. You know why? When you meet an Indian person, you tell them, you already know about all this. Say that.
You already know about all this.
Your mother had Bhagavad-gita. Say it.
Your mother had Bhagavad-gita.
Your grandmother memorized the entire Bhagavad-gita.
Grandmother memorized the entire Bhagavad-gita.
So now we are here in Dublin, we are doing a fundraiser. We are giving these books to those who cannot afford, and you coming from India can be part of this amazing effort by giving this transcendental knowledge to others. Then they will think, wow, I can really be part of this? Let me give you some money. Most people will give. If you don't go down that route, they give €10, then you say, wonderful, this is for you. Because they won't have the alternative edition, they won't have read it. Then you give them a whole. Then you do the whole thing. No, don't have to do the presentation because they already know all this. Say, this is for you, your family, your children. Please take a book as a gift from me after they've given the donation. So the first principle don't distribute a book to an Indian person. You know why? Because it will touch their ego. They already know about the Gita. Their mother has, grandmother has memorized. Although the reality we know that it's us Indians who have taken it for granted, but others are accepting it wholeheartedly. You know why? Because where I come from, there's a word called hodgepodge. Say hodgepodge. Because so much is being told about us that do this, if you do on Tuesday, this done, this will happen Thursday. So when you come to Krishna Consciousness, there are so many preconceived notions, it becomes very difficult to accept Krishna Consciousness. Where people, when come from the Western background, they're clean, their heart is simple, they're ready to accept. That's why we don't give books to the Indian people. We put them on Vyasasana, we worship them, and then we give them the book after we give the donation. What do you think of the idea? Makes sense, right? I learned it from my Guru Maharaj, and we try it every time. When I knock a door, so for Indians, when you go door to door, like especially South Indians, when we go door to door, some people open the door, and the moment they say please come in, it's mostly South Indian or some really pious Gujarati people. That's why a lot of the time when I go on door to door, as a minimum I have my tilak on, and if possible I also go in dhoti and kurta if I'm not coming for work. Because the moment somebody says please come in, that means this house is ready to take Bhagavatam set. I go straight into the Bhagavatam presentation. I don't go into any book. I already tell them, you already have a Gita. I'm sure if you go around, every room will have a Gita. Like that I tell them. And they start believing, yes, we have a Gita. Then I tell them, we are here to tell you about a wonderful literature which is changing the world. Srimad Bhagavatam, which I'm sure you have heard of. I tell them like this. They say, yes, I have Bhagavatam. Then I ask them how many cantos. They say, they look at my face, how many cantos? I have just one book. So that means they're talking about Gita. 99.9% of Gujarati people think Gita and Bhagavatam is the same book. So at the outset, clear that confusion when you're doing a program. Tell them these are two different books. Tell them this one has 700 shlokas and the other one has 18,000 shlokas. Be very clear at the outset. Then tell them, the next thing I tell them, I do a quick 5-minute pitch. I know whether they can take it or not. So I say, you see the Krishna deity, the Krishna form, each canto is the part of the body. It's there in the Garuda Puran. All 12 cantos is the part of Krishna. So when you take Krishna home, no negative energy in your house. Then I ask them, is your house built on Vastu? They say, no, very difficult. I said, here is the biggest Vastu, Bhagavatam in your house. When you keep the Bhagavatam, no negative energy comes into your house. 2 weeks ago, 7 minutes I must have spent and this person was ready. He paid, like tomorrow evening, we are going to do an installation ceremony in your home. So when someone takes a Bhagavatam, we come to their house, we say, you have a son and daughter? They say, yes. I said, when are you celebrating their birthday? They'll say, next week is my younger son's birthday. I said, fantastic, we will do the installation ceremony that day. Please invite all your friends and family. So they invite 20 people. Then we ask them aarti, plate, flowers, some fruits. That's it. If they want to cook, no onion, no garlic, they can, and we can offer the bhoga and their guests can have that. We normally take fruits after we offer. So we go, we sit down with the family, 25 people come there. We tell them more details about Bhagavatam, how beautiful this literature is, how they can benefit from Bhagavatam. And then we open the first canto. Each member there present reads 2 lines from the preface of Srimad Bhagavatam. Very, very, very potent words of Prabhupada in that 2.5 page of preface of Srimad Bhagavatam. Everybody reads. I invite my daughter or other children to tell story of Dhruv Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, like that. And then we do the aarti of the Bhagavatam. It's deities, right? Then everybody in the family, friends comes and offers the flowers. Then I tell them, look, this house has become spiritual world. Bhagavatam is here. How many of you wants this house to become? Then they say, we want our house. So then we distribute 2 or 3 more sets in that program and then we go to their house. They invite their friends. That's how the Namahata Bhakti Vinod Thakur program grew. Not necessarily with Bhagavatam distribution. But when Bhakti Vinod Thakur found out the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what did he do? He did not have money to build. But he knew influential people who could have all paid the money and the temple could have made like that. But no, he went to every house and he asked for 1 rupee. Every house he went to Navadip knocking, saying, please give 1 rupee. Why? He wanted everyone to be part of getting that mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so the temple can be made, not just 2 or 3 people actually. So similarly, this distribution of the Bhagavatam sense is an amazing program. You can go door to door and invite people when they take Bhagavatam, go into their house and do these ceremonies. I have a document on what to do. It's a very simple ceremony, as I just said. So I'll stop here. These are the ways in which you can start something small, but it has the potential of becoming something really big actually. So thank you very much for your attention. Hare Krishna. So now it's 1:05. We have 5 minutes. I said 1:10 we will stop. If everybody can stand up and take a Bhagavad-gita in their hand with their partner facing each other. And I'm going to go back to those slides here. And I'm going to show you the slides. You look at the slides. And for the first, please give out the Gitas to everyone as quickly as possible. Take a Gita in your hand. Open the packet. Because you will distribute that Gita today after opening it. So don't worry.
Can I pick one?
Yeah. Keep all of, give out to the devotees. I just need one. I need to keep one.
Okay, one.
So there are steps mentioned in this card also. You can keep. Okay. Now what you do, you stand in a line. Don't face your back here to the ladies like this. So stand like facing how Yamuna Jivan Prabhu and Anuj Prabhu is standing like this. You can also stand like this in a line and the other partner facing you like that. So face your partner. You should have a partner looking at you. If you don't have Prabhu, you can come to me and we can do it together. So now you start here. First you do is Reda. You look at the person and smile. Okay? Have you got the Gita? You look at him and smile, and then you show them hand. Say hi. Hi. And then hand power. Then you shake the hand if you can, or give a fist bump. Fist bump is the easiest thing. You can do that. And then you qualify. Then you say this. You say books on yoga and meditation. Okay. Then I'm holding the book. Then the next thing you say, you ask the question. Look at the question. You've heard of stress before, right? Yeah. Then you say, you don't look stressed. Say you look spiritual. So then you say, what's your secret? So then they will take the book back. You take the book back from them. And then you say, look, this book has been read by these people. Look at the slide and you can tell the names. Fantastic. And then you say, let me show you. Then you show them Sanskrit and say, can you read this? Just show one verse from this. And then you start laughing and say, I was just testing you. And then you say, this has been translated over 400 times. Say. And out of all the translations, this is the most popular in all the universities. And then we show them the university in the first 2-3 pages, different university very quickly, Georgetown, California, like that. And then you go to this page, find this page in the Gita, changing bodies page. And then you show it to them and say, we are just passing through, where are you in all this? So then you say, show it, and then you tell them that a self, then you show them that picture with the Paramatma in everyone's heart. And you say a self-realized person treats everyone with respect because he or she sees God within everyone's heart. You show them that picture. Very nice. Then you ask them, have you heard of karma, right? And then you say, what does it mean to you? So they will say something, I sleep whole day, or I smoke marijuana. No. They'll say something, or they'll say hopefully something good, music, get up early. Then you say, whoa, say, what a great explanation. And then say, if more people in the world thought like you, the world would be a better place to live. And then you ask them, what do you do for work? I'm a civil engineer. This guy used to be a civil engineer. So you exchange some humor like that. And then we don't sell it. Then we take the book from him and say we don't sell it like in a... No, don't take the book. We just say we don't sell it like in a bookstore. We just ask for donation. Hand the book back and say we don't need the money. You repeat this line. Okay? And then, why it connects you with the previous teachers who can pass it down through many generations and allows you to enter deeply within the knowledge. And then you say it took us how much to print? You say that 5 euros. Anything over that is a donation. Okay. Then you can tell them if they are saying how much is it. You can also say normally people give 100 euros, but in your case we are happy to make an exception. They start laughing at that. Keep it under 100 euros, yeah. And then finally, do you believe in the power of prayer? Then they'll say yes. Yeah. Very nice. And then you repeat the Mahamantra with them, give the prasad. And then you get their contact information, and then you thank you for their valuable time. Thank you, everybody. Okay, now I have gifts for everybody, so please come and take the band. This band, on this band, it says, the slogan, it says, how may I be of service? This is one of the 4 questions of Vaisheshika Prabhu. But it's a band will remind you that one of the 4 questions is, how may I be of service? Whenever you're coming to the temple, going out, thinking, how may I be of service? You can take this. And also, for children, we have the special stickers, or actually we might have one for everybody, touch the payment. Remember, next time you put the sticker, or when you come out today, put the sticker, take a band. Here, collect 1 sticker, and I'll give you the bands here. Thank you. Bye, Krishna.
Are you going to keep your book? You're going on the street to distribute plastic?
Yeah.
It's a book. It's one of the 4 questions of Vaisheshika Prabhu. Yeah. It's available from BBD. I've told Yamuna Jivan Prabhu to order it. Thank you. Okay. Stickers are here. Prabhu. Okay, we can take this. Okay, thank you everybody. Hare Krishna.